Well, I mean, so what is it you look for when someone comes to you now in your role as an investor, walks in there and says, hey, Yossi, I have a great idea. What are you looking for?
That's a very good question. First of all, honestly, I'm not interested in the ideas. Because in my space, the space where I'm working, which is internet-facing, consumer-facing internet and mobile project, whatever the idea is today, next week it will be different in some way, and half a year later it will be totally different. So it's not the idea, it's also not the business plan, because when I meet them, they are just in the beginning of the road. And I think that the common thing to business plan and to sausages is that only people who don't know how they are made are willing to eat them. So I think a business plan is part of some sub-part of science fiction genre. It's science fiction with numbers. But what I really obsessed with is talent. I look for talent. I would like to be associated with the top talent in the country. I look for virtues. I want them to be good people, behaving well. And the reason is that many times I lose on the investment. And my wife asks me, she tells me it's impossible that every kid who come to see us go away with a check.
Right.
So I told her, if we lose, let's look as if we gave him an extended scholarship.
Right.
But we want to give scholarship to jerks. So they have to be nice.
That's right.
They have to be nimble, and they have to be fast.
So the worst thing would have an investment that failed, and the person who failed was a jerk, and so you've wasted your money on somebody who's not worth it.
Because no, seriously, because when you do portfolio investment, if you are not losing, you are not taking enough risk. But if you are losing, you want to lose it in some way that you say at least somebody wasn't reached.
So John Doerr, who you know well, who's a very successful venture capitalist, says that the first generation was the PC, second generation was the internet, and the third generation is where we are now. It's some combination of social networks, mobile, and e-commerce.
And some other things.
And what are the other things? That's my question.
The other things, first of all, I don't know if for you it will touch you, but I don't know if it's good news or bad news. We are going to see totally different television in 3 years.
Yeah. No, it's good for me, actually, because it means that you can put your program, it gives you an ability to put it on a whole different modes, and you can compete with the networks.
I think it's good for you because the TV will have the usual TV as we know it today, but also it will have something which will be similar to a large screen iPad. So you told me that in your lifetime you made 15,000 interviews. So people in 3 years will be able, while they watch this interview, go and see in a small window what other interviews related to it you made, or what I said in some other thing which is contrary to what I said now, or how I'm recycling my jokes. Can be very embarrassing.
That's right.
But it's going to be different.
But essentially what you're saying is that the long-awaited convergence between the internet and applications and television is upon us.
Everything is coming together. It will create exciting applications. It will create terrific opportunities for young guys. The barrier to entry for innovation is getting very, very low. I'm telling you, you ask about technology. I started technology in '69 when I created my first software company. And by the way, we created a company with $5,000 investment, but at that time to create a software project was $250,000, $3 million. Today, 3 kids with a good idea can create something with $20,000. It's becoming a homebrew industry. It's terrific.
Yeah. Will the iPad save magazines and newspapers as we know them? Or some variation of tablet?
Not as we know them, but it will become, they will migrate to the iPad. The iPad, and there will be many other like iPad. Exactly. It's a very, from a form factor, it's ideal for reading a magazine like.
And you can get all the vibrancy of color and all the luxury that magazines offered in terms
and references, and you can jump. So I read that Mr. Murdoch is now issuing a magazine on the iPad.
Yeah, well, absolutely, but everybody else is too. I mean, that's where they believe.
Yeah.
But will the revenue model be equivalent to the advertising revenue model they had from print?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's not good news for them, is it?
No, I think look, I don't see any reason why they cannot migrate. I see some reasons, but I saw, I think it was Martin Sorrell who said that 28% of their income now is from digital. 28%. Right. You know, 10 years ago it was 3, exactly. 4. Yeah. So there is a huge market there. The question, the problem of the incumbent industries is that people like the ones I'm supporting, and hundreds of thousands, millions of them over the world, they now can make a very easy entry. But the business is there. They will either adapt or they will perish. You know, Mr. Zucker said about NBC that they are in the business of turning, or the whole industry is turning digital analog dollars into digital cents.
That's true.
But digital cents.
Digital pennies is what he said. They're
digital pennies, okay, pennies what, 2 cents, okay, digital pennies. But when you have 2 billion people which have access to digital pennies instead of what was the circulation of a good magazine before? So it's a different numbers, but people still looking for great content. And they will pay for great content either by money or by attention seeing banners or by other things.
But the point is they have no choice. I mean, that's where we are.
Yeah, and the point there is a big money to be made there, but you have to come with the right products and to adhere to the heart of the user.
So what do you think the future of social networks are? Facebook.
Social network, the future of social network is like the future of civilization.
When you look at the future, you're optimistic because of the possibilities, not only for investments, but also the possibilities that technology can change our life for the better.
I think technology gives us a lot of options. I think at the end of the day, most of the people want to do good things. But we still have to remember that technology is a tool, and it depends on the hands at which hold this tool. All in all, I'm very optimistic. I have no reason not to be optimistic.